So the first question is reading important for learning English? Especially if you only want to speak with your friends and other people, why do you need to have your head stuck in a book? It's a good question. Some people will say, no, it's not really very important, but I would disagree with those people. I would say it is important, although it's not everything. It can form part of a whole system that you use. If you want to learn to speak better, yes, you should speak. But reading also allows you to come across new vocabulary in your own time, and you can look it up in the dictionary. It can help you to reach a higher level. You get a lot of exposure to how the language works, how we put sentences together, how the different structures work, and it can raise you up. You can improve your vocabulary. But it does depend how you then work those new words that you come across. Ideally, you want to get a balance between learning new words but also following the material that you're reading. So it's important to choose a kind of material that's the right level for you. Not too advanced where you get stuck and you can't even follow what's going on, but not too easy where you're never progressing. Somewhere in the middle, there's that sweet spot. You can learn new words, you can look them up, you can write them down, or if you have a Kindle, you can instantly put them into your vocab checker. It's definitely a good idea to have some kind of revision process. Whether it's a notebook or an app that you use on your phone, you want to make a record of these new words, and through repetition and practice, you can then incorporate them into your own vocabulary. So do you like to read in English? There are many different things. It doesn't need to be books or long novels, maybe news articles, non-fiction books, even comics. If that's your kind of thing, there's pictures that can help you understand what's going on. And if it's something that's interesting and you enjoy, then it's going to take the work aspect out a bit more and put more of the fun aspect in. So you're not even going to be knowing that you're working too hard. If it's too much like hard work, then you're more likely to give up, and that is not what we want to achieve here. Also, if you happen to be in a country, you're surrounded by things like road signs. Maybe you're a student, you can read academic papers, perhaps you read a lot of emails for your job. I know the quick thing to do is to put it all into Google Translate, and that will do most of the work for you. But at least try to get a feel for the email before you do that. Try to work those cognitive muscles, and then things are only going to get easier for you. Also, using subtitles is great if you like to watch movies. This is a form of reading, of course. You can follow along with what's going on. Also, many websites are in English, and even if they have a version in your own language, they probably have an English version. Sometimes you can switch back and forth, and this can allow you to understand what different words mean. Also, there are a huge amount of news resources available, both the traditional paper and modern online resources. Here's a few that I like, including the BBC from the UK, CNN. Also, many different countries have their own news outlet that provides news in English, such as France 24, DW from Germany, Al Jazeera in the Middle East, very high quality news, as well as various newspapers which are online. Some of them are free, such as The Guardian, and they ask you for a contribution. Other ones you might get a certain amount of articles, The Telegraph here, and then if you want more you have to subscribe. But there's definitely so many resources out there that you can find one that suits you. Also, if you're reading, there are different ways to read as well. You can have, perhaps you like a traditional book here, How to Be a Poet, or if you prefer a Kindle as well. I'm a great Kindle fiend. I do love my Kindle. And the great thing about this is when you're reading in a foreign language, or even in your own language, if you come across a word that you don't know the meaning of, you can immediately just click on the word and it will appear, the dictionary definition will appear, which makes it so much quicker when you are learning new words. Also, these can then put them into a program which will store these new words, and you can go back over those words afterwards, which is another great way to start to implant them into your mind. Here we have street signs that we mentioned. Of course, it's very important sometimes to know what these street signs mean. Other things, perhaps instruction manuals if you have a new gadget or something that requires this, or even if you don't need it, even better, you can see the way that they are writing about things. They use different forms of English. Comics, again, it's great, it's colourful, and you get a lot of good dialogue as well, so why not? And we mentioned subtitles. When you're watching a film in a foreign language in English and you don't understand what they're saying, it can be very helpful to follow along through with the subtitles. So you get the input, the audio input, but if you're missing certain words, then you can read clearly on the screen. If that's still too fast for you and you want to do something challenging, there are some great applications, including this one, which you can get as an add-on to Google or other browsers. It's called Language Learning with Netflix, and it really breaks down each subtitle sentence by sentence. You can adjust the settings so they either stop or keep going, and new words that you come across you can then learn with those. As well as that, there's a huge amount of resources available online and offline, classic dictionaries from Oxford and Cambridge, all sorts of other dictionaries available online. There's some other resources which are great. Google Translate certainly has its place. I find this one with the L, which is Lingue. I'll try to leave a comment with a link down below. It's great for finding words and in context in sentences and seeing how they're used. The stars here represents Anki, which is an app for spaced repetition. It's where you can review words, and once you start to get to know them, then you don't need to review them as often, but at the beginning you're reviewing them many times a day. Other dictionaries, and there's a great site I like called Rhyme Zone, which, as it suggests, is good for finding rhymes if you're trying to write a song or a poem, but it also has some great synonyms. It's a thesaurus, as well as a feature which allows you to show where the word appears next to which other words. So if you're looking for collocations, it's also a great resource. I recommend checking that out as well. So let me leave you with this final comment from Mark Twain: a person who won't read has no advantage over one who can't read. So all of you can read, perhaps you just need to work your muscles, find more creative ways to get to read. Hopefully it becomes something that you really enjoy as well, and it's certainly going to add to your English speaking ability. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe and check out the next one below. See you soon. Bye guys.